Welcome back to From Nine to Mom.
Where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with the beautiful chaos that we call motherhood.
And we are about to hit summer up here in beautiful Rochester. And by summer, I mean Ryan's about to be done with school. That I feel like that's when it officially kicks off for me, that I can feel like it's summer because our whole life shifts for the
Yeah.
most part. Like
When you're
childcare
a teacher,
changes, like he's on summer vacay mode, ready to, be summer Ryan, we'll call him. And
ooh, I like Summer
um
Ryan.
Me too, but I think he's a little nervous. This is the first year he has to watch two kids in the summer, but we're already starting to kind of plan our schedule. We got through our trip last week and now like, all right, let's look at these next 2 months and see what it looks like. But you guys are already kicked off a little because Colton's already transitioned into
Summer
his summer
camp.
program. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, for us, kids get out of school in May. So
Yeah.
June and July are our summer months, and then they go back to school the first week of August. So
Yep.
you guys are a month behind us, but it's really because it gets so hot for us in August that the kids go back in school, and it's perfect for you guys up there in August. But it's crazy here because I've never experienced Colton going into kindergarten now. There's a big
Yeah.
change. So a lot of the families are doing different stuff for daycare. And I know that's something that we asked our listeners to talk about because people here do so many different things.
Right.
Summer camp, stay at home, family comes over, some kind of combo. Like there's so many options. It's almost overwhelming. So I think we should
Right.
share what our listeners are doing and then we could talk a little bit about what we're doing and why.
Yeah, well, I think that's been the thing that we're learning is like we were just talking about how it's always been like summer is like off and vacation and that because it's just been me and Ryan, but now with kids it's like our daycare situation changes for the summer. So it's like what do we start doing? And then all these camps cost so much money and activities and this. So we of course had to ask you guys, and we had 30% of people say daycare, they're staying in daycare. So we're going to assume that's probably just year-round daycare
Mm-hmm.
that you're in. 20% family, so whether that be your family's going to help out for the summer, 20% there. And then 30% are staying at home. So we might have to do a follow-up because I'm curious, like, if people are just going to like work from home with the kids
With their kids,
home,
and how old are they if that's the case?
or is that the teacher category where you're a teacher, so you stay home because you're
Yeah.
off? Or are we quitting our jobs for the summer? Like, okay, could
Cool.
be
Sounds
in.
good.
And then the last 20% are relying on camps and activities for the summer. So I feel like that's kind of your boat, right?
Well, for me, daycare does a summer camp. So I got really lucky because it's
Hmm.
technically still his daycare. And the reason
Yeah.
I did that is because if I stayed at daycare for summer camp, not only is it just consistent and it lasts longer, a lot of these camps are like 9 to 1. So then you still have to figure out what to do with the kids
For the
after. So
afternoon. Yeah.
I kept him in daycare. It's more money, but it's consistent. They go on field trips. He's absolutely loving it. And it guaranteed me a spot in the after school program for the
Okay.
quote unquote fall. So for me, it was a no brainer. Daisy's still home with my mom, obviously, but she's not school age. So it's not a big change for her.
Right.
And the other reason I did it is for consistency for Colton. So a lot of
Hmm.
people, and I'm envious of them, and I wish I could somehow have done it, is keep their kids home for the last summer before they go to school so you can have that one-on-one time or do
Yeah.
fun camps with them. But the reality was the biggest thing I heard at like kindergarten registration and getting ready for kindergarten was you need to start getting your kids in a routine because it's a
Yeah.
really long day for them because most kids haven't gone
Right.
to
Yeah.
school or camp for
Hmm.
that long. Colton goes to daycare. He leaves the house at
He's going to
7.
be the pro in the class.
He's gonna be fantastic. He's not home till 5:30. He spends more time at school than we do at work. It's kind of sad,
Right.
actually. But we
It.
figured it's really
We're going
sad.
to just keep going because like we can't
Let's just pass
feed
that
into
away.
that. Yeah.
But it will keep him in that mode so we don't
Yeah.
have to retrain him after
Hmm.
2 months for one of the hardest transitions probably kids ever
Yeah.
experience. I'm trying to keep it
Yeah.
easy, but I am envious of the people who are doing some of that combo work
Yeah.
and whatnot. And I know you kind of have a combo situation right now out of necessity, right?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting summer for the family. It could be a make or break. We'll see. But yeah, our during the school year babysitting situation, we have in-home daycare. someone's house, and then our in-laws, but we try to give them, so our babysitting stops for the summer. She works Ryan's schedule. And then we try to give our, in-law, my in-laws a break for the summer because Ryan's home, like,
Yeah, you're like,
that's
he
his
should do
job.
it.
And either he got really scared about this or I've pressured him. And he's going to say I pressured him enough, which it's so worth it. But he's going to work summer school this year. And he's worked summer jobs in the past. He's had a couple of years off here and there.
You worked for
But
YPC one year, remember? That was
I do
fun.
remember, yeah. And yeah, that was really fun in the household. That was during COVID, I think, too.
It was.
Yeah, so that was special. But yeah, so this year he is doing summer school. It's only 4 days a week, half days. But, I didn't want to rely on our in-laws 4 days, a week for
I
that.
get
Like,
it.
is their summer break too? And I'm also at the point where I want to spend time with them. This is the time to do some of that. So I'm adjusting my schedule a little bit for the 5 weeks that summer school is. I mean, it's not that long of time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to adjust my schedule a little bit so that I can be home with them in the mornings, be available for work if I need, and then, work the extra longer in the afternoon. But yeah, it's going to be interesting how that will work. So it'll be 2
Yeah, I
days
can't
of
wait to
that. And
hear of how it goes. And I know we've talked about this
yes,
because during COVID, Colton's daycare shut down. He was 18 months. So pretty much,
yep.
you're rounding that point with Cal right now.
Hmm.
And
That's wild.
it's
That's
crazy,
wild.
really, really crazy. And it was hell because I was actually
Yeah.
still trying to work like
You
full
had to. There
time.
was, yeah, it wasn't like a
Every five
temporary.
every 5 seconds I was running to I don't know how people work at home with their kids. So like the point of like you saying, I'm gonna spend time with them, I'll be available for stuff. But people
Right.
work at home
Full
with
time
their
with
children.
infants.
And I don't know how it's humanly possible because I
I
can't.
don't either. I literally, it's like I have to give up when they are. It was great. Like I could see myself doing it when they were like really little, when they're sleeping
Yeah,
so much.
loaves
And
of
it's
bread.
like,
You put them
yeah.
next
And
to
you're
you.
just like, I can slap them on a bottle in a contact nap and be
Mm-hmm.
working on the other hand. Like I could see that. But this age that they are, from the minute they can move till they're old enough to sit on an iPad or watch a movie, like that is so tough. Like they need constant attention. And maybe our kids are feral, but like
My kids are
we know that. I
Daisy's a
guess we
feral
know
cat.
that.
We know our kids are
We
feral.
do know that, but like they're wild. Like I can't look away. He'll be, I can't
There'll
even
be a
make up
Lego up
something
the
that he's going to be doing.
nostril. They'll be eating
Yeah,
crayons. Who knows? And
it's
the
going to be
reality
bad.
is that like you could try all you want. Try
Mhm.
you may. What's that saying? But
Yeah, I know.
it's like never ever going to happen for me.
Right.
Or yeah, maybe it will if they're like 10. And that's where you're like, okay, like you said, you're 10 years old. You're off from school. Handle yourself, right? And maybe you do
Till
one
dad gets
camp
home.
or
Mhm.
something. But I
Exactly.
also remember, and this is not a dig at camps because it's just a reality. I
Yeah.
ran summer camp starting at 16 years old, and I was the assistant
Yeah.
director my first year there. And I think back to that, and I was a 16-year-old child running like 40, 50 kids at a time. And I
Yeah.
remember like my favorite games were Dead Fish. Sorry to the parents whose kids I watched. They loved me because we did a lot of fun stuff. But when
Yeah.
we were really tired, we would make the kids lay on the floor and play Dead Fish. And the last one to move got French fries. We bribed them with French fries, and it was like a half hour. Or like when High School
Perfect.
Musical came out, I made everyone do karaoke for hours because it entertained
Everyone.
me,
Yep.
like, and everyone else. But they were like, it the fact that now that I have kids looking at that, thinking about that, I'm like, I would not, I don't know.
You think you're sending your kids to this like educational program for the summer where they're going to have enriching games and
Yes. And they're
and
playing
they're
dead fish for French fries, man.
literally. But that's where like, and that's where it gets tough though, because we're too young for most camps on our side, because Jack's not even 3 yet, and most of them start at 3 if there is like something young, so he's not eligible for anything yet. So we're gonna wing it.
Yeah,
We're
and you're in a
talking
unique
about,
position because you have a teacher husband. So like a teacher
right,
parent. So if you didn't have a teacher parent, it would probably have been set up all year. So
right,
that is really challenging under 5 and
yeah.
a teacher parent who's now working through the summer. That's hard.
Yeah, and I mean, people do more than that. I mean, there's teachers that have second jobs that work those second jobs all year round and have kids and make it work. So like, I know we'll make it work, but it's it's going to be mostly an adjustment for me, I think, because I don't watch the kids during the week at all right now. Like, I'll pick them up early here and there when, Ryan needs me to, or whatever. But yeah, so that schedule's coming soon,
Oh
2 weeks
yeah,
away.
and you're going to be, I didn't think about this. We have alluded to this before, but now they're going to be home all day. So even when
Yeah,
you are working, like it's your work hours, you're going
they're
to have
there.
to, you're going to leave, I'm assuming, and
I have
escape.
to. I have to. Even with, I'm curious how other people handle it. And I know that there's people in the situations when your significant other is home watching them. Where do you work? Because I don't live in a mansion. I don't have any space to work that they can't get to
It
me.
doesn't matter how much space you have, Katie. You know I work from home. How
I
many times is
know,
Daisy up against the thing? Mama,
constantly,
mama, licking
constantly.
it, constant.
And yeah, you can't escape. And then it's like, what am I supposed to do when they're screaming? Like, we're in a phase where Calvin will scream if he knows I'm in the other room. He will scream until he can, like, if we
And
try
that
to
gives you
put the kids
anxiety.
up,
It's not just work, it's mom guilt. So
I
it's
can't
better to
focus.
leave.
Yeah. So, like, I'm going to have to, if I, the days I watch them in the morning, I'm going to have to leave as soon as Ryan gets home and come into the office and get my work done and then call it a day after that. So, I'm going to be going through a
Focus
lot
on
of,
quality time with the kids in the morning,
right?
quality time with your
Work.
stuff in the afternoon. It'll be fine. You're going to thrive through
Oh,
this.
it will be.
But like you
And then
said,
by the
people
time
do
we get
crazy
used
things.
And then by the time we get used to it, Ryan will be done because we are going to have a few weeks where he won't be working. So he's going to need some extra special support
Even
for
if you like, though,
four
yeah, he's going to
weeks.
need some love. He's definitely going
Yeah.
to need some love.
Yeah.
And then he's getting his vasectomy. Lord Jesus, this is going to be a long summer for you.
I know.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry to
I
blow up your
know.
spot.
We're going to get to that. That's a whole episode in itself.
But
Yeah.
I think that the like thinking about no matter whether you work or not, also like my sister-in-law, she signed her kids up for summer camp because the kids like to be active and she was trying
Yeah.
to have them both do fun things. And she was saying this weekend, she's like, I didn't realize I signed them both up for camp at the exact same time. So now she has a
Mm-hmm.
boy and a girl. They're 18 months apart. So they're not in the same camps. They're doing different things. And now it's like, okay, what do you do? Joe can't help her out. So it's like she's got to drop
They
one
both
off.
start at 9. How do
Yeah.
you get both of them there by 9?
It's just, and then you're asking for help and you're stressing out about it. And it was supposed to be fun and a little break for you. And now you're so
How am I going to
overwhelmed.
get
It's
everyone
just,
there?
it's
Yeah.
so crazy what people do in the summers. And just, I've never been exposed to it. I think our kids came for me. My kids were too young. They just did daycare.
Right.
Like I
Right.
didn't know this was such a thing. Then on top of it, you have to enroll like 6 months ago for all the
Oh yeah,
fun
they're
camps.
already all booked, I'm sure.
So it's like daycare 2.0. It's so stressful, but I think that we're going to survive the summer. And I just cannot believe that like it's so short already. And I know we have asked about bucket lists and what people,
I was
want
just
to
gonna
do
bring
with
it
their
up.
summer. I was writing mine and I was like, oh my gosh, I only have 6 weeks left to make bucket list happen.
You're in it. You better start making it happen. But we did have a couple write-ins, but nobody like blew us away, guys. Like we need people to share what your big bucket list items are. But give us yours. What's on
Mine
yours?
are not impressive because I already planned a
I
million
know.
things. Like I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm going away the next 2 weeks, but it's like a Danielle bucket list for my family. I do really want to do I didn't grow up camping myself. So I want my kids to have that experience because I didn't, but I'm not
Okay.
fully ready to take them camping. We've done a lot of hotel trips, bougie
Hotels
babies,
are where it's at.
bougie babies all day. So we're going to do a backyard camping party. And I think we're going to invite some friends over, set the tents up, do the fire, watch a movie outside. So like, that's something I definitely want to do. I also want to teach Colton how to ride a bike. So the kid's 5. I struggled with bike riding. Like I did not learn till later. I just saw a TikTok where you use a towel and you tie it around the kid's like waist and they drive no training wheels and you slowly loosen it and kids are learning to ride bikes in like 10, 15 minutes. I don't know that that's going to be Colton, but I'm hoping that by the end of the next 6 weeks, he can at least pedal like 5 feet ahead without freaking out. So that's my second bucket list item.
All right. That's a good one.
And then the third is kind of, I always looked at, and I know you are this way too, because Ryan is a teacher, but I love school. I've always looked at the fall, like when you go back to school, it's your refresh. So before we go back to school, I really want to declutter stuff. We're in a different phase of life, donate everything that I can, get rid of the things that don't make sense for me anymore and start like my school year fresh too. So those are my bucket list items.
That's a great one. I love decluttering. Decluttering is
like
my favorite thing. I could spend all day just organizing my house. I love it.
Yeah, but then with kids, you declutter it and 5
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
later, you're on to the next because
You do
something
it
else is
6
an
times,
absolute
6 times a
absolute
day.
train wreck.
You just have to have a list of everything that you need to declutter, and then it's just a rolling one that you go
Yeah,
through
you
this,
just
and then you
cross it
just go
off.
back to the top, and you keep going back through. So on our bucket list for this summer, the first one is that we wanna take a road trip with the kids for more than 2 hours away.
I know you
We
guys haven't gone that far, so that's a big deal.
we haven't. So we've been, like, I mean, it's only been a year, and I mean, most of it was like when Ryan's in school, and then winter, like, where are we gonna go that we can actually drive?
Yeah, get
So we
prepared to come down
really,
here 12 hours. You need to move
yeah, we
up to
gotta
that.
really work our way up. So the goal's 2 hours. We gotta book something. We wanna stay overnight somewhere, that we can practice being out with the kids because we are just like, we're
So where are you
homebodies.
thinking?
I don't know. I mean, like, what's in upstate? Like, I been looking at like the Finger Lakes. There's like nothing available. We would have had to book that a long time ago. So it's likely going to end up being a hotel, maybe an Airbnb. Like, I don't know. My best friend's from the Thousand Islands, so like that could be a cool trip if we did that later in the summer. Um,
I think that was what we did every single year as a family, and it was my favorite like trip for of my whole life was going to the Thousand Islands.
really?
Like every
All
year,
right,
that was our thing.
maybe that'll be something I look into doing. So that's one of them. The second one is very important, teaching Jack how to swim. We had a quick awakening 2 weeks ago that Jack was in the pool with Ryan and he was just clinching on, and we were like, oh boy, like he shouldn't be better than he is right now. And not that it's like anything crazy, but like he just doesn't, he's not around a ton of pools. So that's the second one. And then the last one is that the boys need to touch sand and think that they're at a beach. I don't think it's going to be the ocean. It might be just Lake Ontario, but we're
Listen,
going to make that happen.
if you get the 2 hours in, right,
True.
you could technically
True.
then like expand that to like 5 hours. Boston has pretty beaches, New
Right?
York City, but I think Charlotte Beach is dicey. Maybe go to Hamlin
I
or,
know.
one of those. But yeah, they gotta know what
We're
sand
going to get
is.
them. We're going to get them up. So that's
But
ours.
beware,
But
they like to drink like and eat the sand. So like if you're gonna take them there, they might be like eating sand, drinking
that's why
water.
Calvin will be addicted to a binky. Anytime he is outside, he has a binky in because he eats grass, he eats dirt, he eats plants, rocks. We've caught it all in his
Whatever
mouth.
looks good. He's an adventurous boy. This summer is gonna be no different. You're gonna teach him even more
No.
things and more adventures. I think that it's so funny when you have kids because we have all these bucket list items. And I think back to before we had kids, what our bucket list items looked like. Trip to
Right.
Italy, or I don't know, go visit our friends in New York City from here. Like the
Yeah.
things that we had on our list, lose 20 pounds, like work out seven, like all these things that I
Right.
would still love to do, but they're just so unrealistic in my mind that it's like, okay, this is where we're at,
Right.
but it's just as
Right.
important and fun.
Kids bring the bar down for you, but then you end up you enjoy when you get them, like it makes it that much better when you do get to do something that was on those bucket lists that you got to do. So it'll be an interesting summer. I'm just, honestly, if we can get through with no major injuries, no broken bones, like that'll be great for me.
Yeah, I'd say health and happiness. Like
Right?
those two things, enjoy the nice weather, grow a little bit as a unit and try not to, you know, fall apart here and there because
Right? It'll be
it's going to be
fine.
tough, but it's going to be fun. And then before we know it, we're going to be back into the regular hustle and
Can't wait.
it's going to be good, but I'll keep you guys updated on we should just tell each as we check off bucket list items. You
We'll
guys have
check
to
in.
like send us pictures, write in, tell us what you did.
Exactly.
And we'll share our adventures as well and any ideas that we have.
I
Make
love
it a
it.
thing
Well, I think with that, it's time for us to clock out and clock
and
back
clock
into
back
the nine to
in.
five.
Bye,
See you guys
everyone.
next time.